Hey guys, what is going on? It's Lazarus here, bringing you yet another MLB The Show 17 video, and today I'm going to be going over some tips I have for you to become a better hitter in MLB The Show 17. Now, as someone who's been playing MLB The Show since 2010, these are just some things I've picked up on over the years and that have made me become better. And also, before we get into the tips, let me know in the comment section below what kind of videos you want to see me make from MLB The Show 17. I have some ideas in my mind, but I want to know what you guys want to see, so just leave a comment below, let me know. With that, let's get right into these tips. So the first thing I want to go over are my hitting settings, which I'll put on the screen right now. And right here we have the hitting difficulty on all-star difficulty, because that is typically what online mode is played with. I do believe the higher levels of ranked seasons are Hall of Fame and potentially Legend, but I'm not 100% sure. But I know Battle Royale is on All-Star difficulty, and I believe Events is as well. Now, one of the most important parts of this is zone hitting. You have to use zone hitting if you want to get better. I used to use directional for years, and really, I just didn't get better at the game until I started using zone. Zone gives you so much more control over your hitting. I feel like directional / timing is a little bit more luck based, while zone is definitely more skill based. And although it does have kind of a tough learning curve, if you master it, you will become very, very good. So that is absolutely a must. Turn on zone hitting if you want to get better. Even if it takes a while, just stick through it and keep trying to get better. Eventually it'll work out and you will see improvements. For input type, I use buttons just because I like buttons more than the stick. And analog type, if you use buttons like me, you don't have to worry about that. Plate coverage indicator, obviously if you use zone, you want that to be turned on. And for PCI appearance, I use wedge. I also like outline a little bit, but wedge is just more compact and it's the one I prefer the most. Now, hitting view is yet another very important thing you have to look at. Get into a game, go through them, and see which one you like the most. My top 3 favorite hitting views are strike zone, which is really zoomed in, and it's just a really good view of the strike zone. It makes it a lot easier to determine balls and strikes, and you see the ball very, very good. Another one I like a lot is offset zoom, which is also zoomed in quite a bit, but far enough back so that it's comfortable. So it's not quite as zoomed in as strike zone, but it still is a very good camera angle, and I like to use it. Finally, my third favorite is just zoom. That's the one I like to use when I'm playing franchise against a CPU, when there's not really that much intensity in the game. Mostly because I really like how MLB The Show looks. The graphics obviously are just fantastic, and the zoom camera angle gives you a nice little view of everything in the stadium and the hitters. And I feel like that one just really encompasses the grand scale of how good MLB The Show 17 looks. But if you're playing online competitively, I definitely would recommend strike zone or offset zoom more. But really, this is something you have to go through and look at. You can't determine this based on what someone else says. It's really just more of a personal touchy-feely thing. In play view offense, I use high. That's another thing that you could completely choose. It doesn't make that much of a difference unless you really don't like that camera angle. But yeah, that's another thing you have to go through and experiment with a little bit. And ball trail and guest pitch, that doesn't really matter. You can't use guest pitch online, so don't worry about that. So now that we have all those settings out of the way, let's get right into these tips I have. Now that we have the settings out of the way, let's get into some of the more important tips I have for you guys. The thing that separates good hitters from great hitters in this game is the ability to know balls from strikes. You have to have good discipline if you want to be good. If you just go up there swinging at every crappy pitch, you're not going to do good. You have to learn how to lay off the bad pitches, or even pitches in the strike zone. Just if you don't like them, you can lay them off. You don't have to swing at them. Always look for something preferably in the middle of the plate, unless you like it low and in or another location. But you'll figure out your sweet spot once you play more. But it is absolutely 100% necessary to know the difference between balls and strikes, because if you start working counts more, then you'll get into more hitter friendly counts, and that'll force the pitcher to either walk you, which gives you a base runner, or give you a meatball down the middle. And when you get that meatball, chances are you could hit it far. For example, I've played online against very good players, and the one thing they always do is they have great plate discipline, and it makes it so much harder to pitch to someone when they have great plate discipline, because it kind of forces you to throw strikes, and if you're a good enough hitter, you can hit those strikes for home runs or doubles and extra base hits in general. And finally, another important tip I have is to watch the ball out of the pitcher's hand. I feel like that's the best way to try and pick it up. What I do is I watch it out of the pitcher's hand and try to track it with my PCI, and then my PCI will land where the pitch should go. Now, this is especially helpful for breaking balls, because with fastballs, they go straight and you usually know where they're going to end up, but breaking balls, you have to track them if you want to hit them. And I feel like that's the best way to track pitches, is just look at it all the way through and try to get a good feel for it. I've tried to focus on these two things over the last few years, and I have seen a huge improvement in my ability to actually hit in this game, and hopefully with these tips, you guys will be better too. What do you guys think about these tips? If you like them, leave a like on the video and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how you feel. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.